You ever wake up and just feel off? Not sick, exactly. Not in pain. But something's different. Maybe it's a little harder to get out of bed. Maybe your energy's just not what it used to be. Maybe you forget why you walked into the kitchen again. Now, I want you to stop for a moment, take a deep breath, and ask yourself this. Is my body trying to tell me something? Because here's the truth, and I say this with love and honesty. Once we hit 60, our bodies start whispering. And if we don't listen to those whispers, one day they might start shouting. No one really prepares us for this stage of life. There are plenty of books and advice when you're having babies, starting careers, even planning retirement. But when it comes to understanding what our bodies are doing after 60, we're kind of left in the dark. And I know it can feel scary. The changes, the uncertainty, the quiet fear in the back of your mind that says, is this normal? Or is something wrong? I've talked to so many friends, people just like you, who brushed off little things. A bit of dizziness here, some strange bruises there, a nagging fatigue that just wouldn't go away. And they all said the same thing. I thought it was just part of getting older. But sometimes, it's not just age. Sometimes it's your body waving a red flag, gently at first, then more urgently, trying to get your attention before it's too late. Today, I want to have a real conversation with you. Personal one. The kind we'd have over a cup of tea at the kitchen table. I want to walk you through 7 signs your body might be telling you something important. Signs that too many people ignore until they can't anymore. And before we begin, I want you to know this isn't about fear. This is about empowerment. Because once you know what to look for, you can take action. You can feel more in control. You can stay ahead of the curve instead of being blindsided. So let's start with the first sign. It's one that's easy to brush off, but it can be a warning of something deeper. Sign number 1. Sudden, unexplained fatigue. Now, I'm not talking about the kind of tired you feel after a long day of gardening or chasing after grandkids. I'm talking about the kind of tired that sinks into your bones. The kind where even getting dressed feels like climbing a mountain. If you've noticed that you're sleeping well but still waking up exhausted, or you used to walk the block with no trouble and now you're winded just walking to the mailbox. That's not normal aging. That's your body telling you something's off. Fatigue can be your heart saying, I'm not getting enough oxygen to your body. It can be your thyroid slowing down, your blood sugar swinging wildly, or even your liver working overtime to filter toxins. In some cases, it's the earliest sign of serious conditions like anemia, diabetes, or heart failure. But here's the good news. It's also one of the easiest signs to investigate. A simple blood test, a quick heart check, and you can rule out the scary stuff or catch something early while it's still treatable. Sign number 2. Unexplained weight loss or gain. You ever step on the scale and think, wait, how did that happen? Maybe you've lost 10 pounds without trying. Or maybe the opposite, you're gaining weight even though your diet hasn't changed. In our 60s and beyond, our metabolism slows down, yes. But if your weight shifts suddenly and you can't explain why, that's a red flag. Losing weight for no reason can be a sign of cancer, gastrointestinal issues, or even depression. Gaining weight, especially around the belly, can point to hormonal imbalances or fluid retention, which sometimes means your kidneys or heart need attention. And here's the kicker. Even if it isn't something serious, those changes can throw off your blood pressure, your cholesterol, even your sleep. So it's worth checking in, not just brushing it off. Sign number 3. Changes in your skin or nails. Our skin tells a story. And after 60, it's a story worth paying attention to. Maybe you've noticed new spots, or your skin feels drier than usual. Maybe your nails have changed, ridges, discoloration, or they break more easily. These seem like small things, but they can be big clues. For example, yellowing nails can signal a fungal infection, sure, but they can also hint at lung problems. New moles or spots that change shape, bleed, or don't heal. That could be skin cancer, which is one of the most treatable cancers when caught early. Even persistent dry, itchy skin can be a sign of kidney issues or thyroid problems. You don't need to panic, but you do need to look. Make it a habit. Once a month, stand in front of the mirror, check your skin, your scalp, your nails. Know what's normal for you so you can notice what's not. Sign number 4. Frequent urination or trouble going. This one's personal. It's uncomfortable to talk about, so most people don't. But we need to. If you're getting up more than once or twice a night to pee, or you feel like you just went and need to go again, or it's hard to go at all, that's not just aging. In men, it might be the prostate enlarging. In women, it might be a sign of bladder issues or pelvic floor weakening. But in both men and women, frequent urination can also signal diabetes or a urinary tract infection. And if there's blood in your urine, even just once, don't wait. Don't assume it's nothing. That can be a sign of kidney or bladder cancer, and the earlier it's caught, the better the outcome. I know these things are awkward, but your life is worth the slight discomfort of having that conversation with your doctor. Sign number 5. Memory lapses or mood swings. Now this one hits close to home for a lot of us. You forget a name. You lose your keys. You get irritated at things that never used to bother you. And you wonder, is it just age? Or is it something more? Here's the honest answer. Some memory slips are normal. But if you're having trouble finding the right words often, or forgetting important dates, or your mood is swinging wildly from sadness to anger to anxiety, those are signs your brain needs a closer look. It could be depression, which often shows up differently in older adults. Could be the early signs of Alzheimer's or other types of dementia. Or it could be something as simple as a vitamin B12 deficiency, a thyroid imbalance, or side effects from medication. Don't suffer in silence. Don't chalk it up to just getting old. Your brain health matters, and there are so many treatments and supports available now, if you speak up early. Sign number 6, shortness of breath. Even at rest, here's another one that too many people ignore. If you find yourself catching your breath while doing light tasks, or if you're short of breath even when sitting down, your body is waving a red flag. It could be your heart, especially if you also feel lightheaded or notice swelling in your legs. Could be your lungs if you've had a history of smoking or exposure to pollutants. Or it could be anxiety, which can cause very real physical symptoms. Whatever the cause, breathlessness isn't something to shrug off. It's one of the body's most urgent messages, that oxygen isn't getting where it needs to go. You don't need to diagnose yourself, but you do need to get it checked out. Sign number 7, digestive changes or ongoing constipation. Let's end this chapter with something we don't talk about enough. Our gut. If your digestion has changed, if you're constipated often, or experiencing unexplained diarrhea, bloating, or stomach pain, that's your digestive system saying, help. Persistent constipation can be a warning sign of colon cancer, especially if there's also blood in the stool or you've had changes in appetite. But even less serious causes, like dehydration, poor diet, or medication side effects, can still affect your quality of life and overall health. Your gut health affects your mood, your immune system, even your energy levels. So don't ignore those signals. Now, I know that was a lot. And maybe you're thinking, well, I have some of those signs. Should I be worried? Let me tell you this, as someone who cares deeply about your well-being, worry isn't what you need. Awareness is. You are not powerless. You're not at the mercy of aging. You can still listen to your body. You can still take charge. In the next chapter, we're going to talk about what to do if you've noticed some of these signs. I'll walk you through the simple steps, the questions to ask your doctor, the tests that matter, and how to advocate for yourself even in a rushed medical system. But before we go there, I want you to pause. Really pause. Breathe in, and ask yourself, is my body whispering something I've been too busy or too afraid to hear? Because now, my friend, you know how to listen. All right, my friend, you've taken a big first step. You showed up, you listened. And maybe, just maybe, you saw a little of yourself in those 7 signs we just talked about. Maybe your heart whispered, that's me. And if that's the case, I want you to know something important before we go any further. You are not alone. You are not broken. And it is not too late to take back control of your health. So let's talk now about what to do when your body is sending signals. Because information without action, that just leads to more worry. But action, even the smallest step, that leads to power, to peace, to healing. Let's begin with the most important principle of this entire chapter. Don't wait for a crisis, as so many people, good people, smart people, wait until the warning signs become emergencies. They wait until the chest pain becomes a heart attack, until the fatigue becomes a collapse, until the forgetfulness becomes a diagnosis no one wants to hear. But you're here now. You're ahead of the curve. And that means you have options. Step 1. Write down what you've noticed. Start simple. Get a notebook, a piece of paper, even the back of an old envelope, and write down the changes you've noticed. When did the fatigue start? How often are you feeling short of breath? What's your weight been doing over the last few months? Have you noticed changes in your memory, your skin, your sleep? You don't need to have all the answers. Just write what you feel. What's changed? What's been worrying you? This may seem small, but it's powerful. It gives you a record. It helps you notice patterns. And when you do talk to your doctor, it gives them something real to work with, not vague symptoms, but clear signs. Step 2. Make the appointment and be clear about why you're going now. I know what you might be thinking. I don't want to bother the doctor. They'll just say it's part of getting older. They don't have time to listen anyway. I hear that from so many people over 60. You're used to toughing things out. You don't want to make a fuss. You grew up in a generation that only went to the doctor when something was really wrong. But times have changed, and so have you. You have every right to be taken seriously, to have your concerns heard. And the key is how you frame the conversation. When you call to make the appointment, don't just say checkup. Be specific. Say, I've been noticing some changes in my body that concern me, and I'd like to talk with my doctor about them. This sets the tone. It tells the staff and your doctor that this visit matters, that you're not there for small talk. You're there to partner in your health. Step 3. Ask for the right tests now. I'm not a doctor and I don't pretend to be. But here's what I do know. When it comes to the signs we talked about in Chapter 1, there are some simple, affordable tests that can uncover a lot. Depending on what you're experiencing, ask your doctor about a complete blood count, CBC, to check for anemia or infection, thyroid function tests, especially if you're feeling cold, tired, or gaining weight. Blood sugar and A1C to check for diabetes or insulin resistance, liver and kidney function tests, vitamin B12 and vitamin D levels, cholesterol and triglyceride panel, electrocardiogram, EKG, or an echocardiogram if you've had shortness of breath, fatigue, or palpitations, memory screening if you're concerned about cognitive changes. These aren't extreme tests. Many are covered by Medicare or your insurance. They can catch things early, while there's still time to do something about them. And don't be afraid to ask, what are we not checking that we maybe should? Sometimes doctors forget that what's obvious to them isn't obvious to us. It's okay to speak up. Step 4. Be honest, especially about the embarrassing stuff. Listen, I know there are things we just don't like to talk about. Problems in the bathroom, mood swings, trouble remembering names, intimacy issues, bruises that we don't want to admit are happening more often. But here's the thing, your doctor has seen it all. And they can't help with what they don't know. So if something's bothering you, even if you're not sure it's serious, say something. You don't have to say it perfectly. Just say, I'm a little embarrassed to bring this up, but I think it matters. That one sentence, it opens the door to help. Step 5. Bring someone with you if you can. Medical appointments can feel overwhelming. It's easy to forget what was said, or to leave feeling unsure. So if you can, bring a trusted friend or family member with you. Someone who'll sit in, take notes, ask questions, and make sure you feel supported. If that's not possible, write down your questions beforehand and take notes during the visit. You deserve to walk out of that room feeling heard, not confused. Step 6. Follow through, even if you feel better. This part is tricky. Sometimes just the act of seeing the doctor or making a plan makes us feel better. And we think, maybe it was nothing after all. Don't fall into that trap that if you were prescribed a test, get the test out. If they said, let's recheck in 6 weeks, put it on your calendar and go. Your future self will thank you. Remember, many serious health issues are silent at first. You can feel fine and still have something brewing under the surface. Prevention works before the symptoms return. Step 7. Take back the driver's seat in your health. Let me tell you a little story. A friend of mine, let's call her Margaret. She's 68. She was always active, strong, independent. But over the course of a few months, she started feeling tired all the time, a little foggy. She gained a few pounds, but she figured, well, that's just what happens. When I asked if she'd seen her doctor, she shrugged, said she didn't want to be a bother. But one day, she had trouble catching her breath just walking up the stairs. That was her wake-up call. She went in, had a full workup, and it turned out her thyroid was barely functioning, easily treatable with medication. Within 2 months, she was feeling like herself again. Now she tells everyone, don't wait, If something feels off, go find out why. And she's right. You know your body better than anyone. You live in it every day. And if you feel like something's wrong, trust that instinct. Ask questions. Push for answers. And don't let anyone brush you off. You're not just a number on a chart. You're a whole person with a life, a story, and people who love you. You've earned the right to be taken seriously. Now, let's talk about hope. Maybe you're feeling a little anxious right now. Maybe this has stirred up some old fears. That's okay. But I want to leave you with something beautiful. Your body is not your enemy. It's your partner. And those warning signs? They're not punishments. They're gifts. They're your body's way of saying, hey, something needs attention. Let's fix this. Let's keep going. And you can. You really can. In the final chapter, we're going to talk about what it looks like to live well after 60, not just avoiding illness, but truly thriving. We'll cover habits that support your body's wisdom, choices that keep you strong, and how to stay connected to hope, even when the road gets hard. But for now, I want you to take a breath. Place a hand on your chest and say, I'm listening, because you are. And that changes everything. When was the last time you truly felt alive? Not just getting through the day, not just going through the motions, but that deep, quiet kind of peace and energy. The kind that fills your lungs when you wake up and makes you say, I'm still here, and this life, it's still mine. Because here's the truth, and I need you to hear it. Not just with your ears, but with your whole spirit. It's not over. You're not done. And there is still so much beauty ahead. We've spent time talking about the warning signs your body gives you, and what to do when those signs show up. But this final chapter isn't just about survival, it's about thriving. And the question I want us to explore together is simple, yet so powerful. What does it look like to truly live well after 60? Not just manage your health, not just cope with age, but to live with strength, joy, purpose, and a kind of grounded peace that only comes with time and wisdom. Because if you're listening to this, I know something about you already. You're not someone who gives up. You've faced challenges. You've carried heavy things. You've been the strong one for others more times than you can count. But now, it's your turn. So let's talk about you. Let's start with your body, the only home you'll ever truly live in. Point 1. Treat your body like a friend, not an enemy for so many of us. The relationship with our bodies gets harder as we age. Things sag, things ache, things slow down. And we start to feel betrayed, frustrated, even ashamed. But what if we shifted the way we talk to ourselves? What if instead of saying, why can't I do what I used to? We said, look at how much I've survived. Every wrinkle is proof you smiled. Every scar means you healed. Every ache is your body saying, I'm still fighting for you. So when you look in the mirror tomorrow, I want you to try something. Say this, thank you, body. You've carried me through a lot. I promise to take care of you now. That's where healing begins. Point 2. Movement is not about exercise. It's about freedom. You don't need to run a marathon. You don't need a gym membership, but your body needs to move. Why? Because movement is life. It tells your joints, stay loose. It tells your heart, keep beating strong. It tells your brain, I'm still here. I still matter. So find movement that brings you joy. At a morning walk while the world is quiet, stretching in your living room with calming music, dancing in the kitchen to that song you love but haven't heard in years, gardening, sweeping, playing with the grandkids. It all counts. The goal isn't perfection. It's presence. Move because you can. Because you still have places to go and memories to make. Point 3. Eat like your life depends on it, because it does now. I know. You've heard every diet tip in the book. But forget the fads. Your body after 60 needs fuel, not restrictions. It needs nourishment, not punishment. Focus on whole, colorful foods, fresh vegetables, especially greensberries and fruits. Great for memory, by the way. Lean proteins, fish, eggs, beans, healthy fats like olive oil, nuts, and avocado. Plenty of water. More than you think you need, but more than what you eat. Pay attention to how. Slow down. Sit at a table. Put on music. Taste every bite. Say grace if that's your thing. Let meals be a moment of love, not just a task to check off. Point 4. Protect your mind like it's treasure, because it is. Cognitive changes are one of the biggest fears after 60. And for good reason. But here's what we know from science: your brain is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it stays. So stretch it, challenge it, feed it. Read every day, even if it's just 10 minutes. Learn something new. A language, a skill, a puzzle. Journal your memories, your stories, your dreams. Spend time in conversation. Real, rich, meaningful conversation. And maybe most powerful of all, stay curious. Ask questions. Look for wonder. Curiosity keeps your brain young. Point 5. Surround yourself with people who make you feel alive. After 60, many people experience something they never expected. Loneliness. Friends move. Loved ones pass. Kids get busy. The phone doesn't ring as often. And it's easy to start shrinking your world. But you weren't meant to do this life alone, so reach out. Even if it feels awkward, call an old friend. Join a walking group. Say hello to the neighbor you always wave at but never talk to. And don't be afraid to say, I'm looking for connection. I'd love to get together sometime. There are so many others, just like you, who are waiting for someone to go first. Point 6. Make peace with the past and choose joy in the present. By 60, we've all got our share of regrets. Words we wish we'd said. Roads we didn't take. People we've lost. But you are not your mistakes. You are not your pain. You are not too late to live a life that feels good. So if there's forgiveness to be given, give it. If there's healing to be started, begin it. If there's a dream that still stirs in your chest, go after it. Point. One of the most liberating things you can say is, that chapter is over. I'm writing a new one now. 7. Ask yourself this every morning. What can I do today that makes me feel alive? Maybe it's something big. Maybe it's something tiny. But every day, choose life. Choose the walk. Choose the call. Choose the laugh. Choose the prayer. Choose the book. Choose the risk. Because no matter your age, no matter your health, you still have power. Power to love. Power to grow. Power to leave behind something beautiful. And finally, a gentle reminder: if your body is whispering to you, listen. If your spirit is aching for more, follow it. You have so much life still inside you. You've made it this far. Through storms, through heartbreak, through fear, through change. You're still standing. And that, my dear friend, is a miracle. So live like it. Live with intention. Live with gratitude. Live with boldness. And above all, live with hope. Because this life, your life, isn't done yet. And the best stories, they often come in the final chapters. So go write yours. I'm with you. And I'm proud of you. Take care of yourself. You matter, and you are so very loved. Always.